How do you feel about working from home? Working from home makes you feel more enjoyable and productive? Or does it feel more stressed and anxious? The study stated that 80% of remote professionals have experienced workplace conflicts. It can happen because they lack of teamwork. They are stressed about work. The team has rude behavior. They lack of trust. Engaging in a remote workplace is challenging. You are at odds with someone at work. We can't address issues face to face, which may mean the anger gets buried and texts get misinterpreted. We can't see their expressions, and it's hard to gauge what someone means sometimes. A coworker may be making a sarcastic joke and thought you'd laugh, but it's taken the wrong way. These challenges can potentially lead to conflict.
According to Harvard Business Review Press, there are 4 types of conflicts. The first one is relationship conflict. This is a personal disagreement, when both feel hurt or disrespected. Relationship conflict usually start off as another type of conflict, a disagreement over a project budget, or difference in strategy, but they didn't resolve the problem and then it become worse and personal. See, they don't care for each other. Second type of conflict is task. This is the most common source of disagreement at work. A difference in decision or strategy to solve a problem. If this conflict is not resolved, it can lead to relationship conflict. The third type of conflict is process. There is already an agreement on what to do, but there is a disagreement on how to do it. For example, is deciding on project deadline. The last is status. This is uncommon but can be a big problem when it happens. Competing to lead a high-profile project can lead to status conflict. So, how can we handle conflict in workplace? There are 4 ways. The first is to do nothing. This is different with avoiding conflict. Sometimes it's not worth dealing with. Your colleague is unwilling to have a conversation. Don't say anything. Just walk away and carry on as if nothing happened. Keep in mind though, it can be risky if there is another conflict. It may make you feel bad continuously. They might try to do it again. Another way is to address it indirectly. In some culture it may seem impolite to confront directly. It may be wise to ask a friend or your boss to help you to address your issue to your colleague. Keep in mind that this option may not work in Western cultures where it is expected to address directly, may backfire if they found out and is unhappy about it. Next is to address it directly. In Western cultures it is expected to confront directly to address a conflict. If successful, this option can resolve the conflict quickly. Keep in mind though it could worsen the situation if one is not careful. It can earn you a reputation as an aggressive person. The final option, if there is no other way, is to exit, get out of the situation. Try asking your superior to be reassigned to another project, another department, to avoid the person, or if there is no other way, maybe leave the company. This option might take a lot of effort for you, may hurt your relationship with other colleagues, may make you seem difficult to work with.
Based on the study from CPP Global Human Capital, who was released 2021, in which they ask over 1,000 U.S. workers about their condition of their remote working and conflicts that has been occurred. It is found that 80% of professional workers have experienced remote workplace conflicts. The main sources of conflicts during remote workplace are dominated by the lack of teamwork, the stress about work, the rude behavior, and the lack of transparency and honesty. All of this can happen between each co-workers and from the workers to their bosses. And the main reason for conflicts that occur more often during remote working is people sound too short when they don't mean it, people, especially new hires, feel disconnected when starting working remotely, and people are usually bolder online because they are not face-to-face. Conflicts in remote workplaces are largely dominated by the conflict with their own coworker, which can reach 65%, meanwhile the conflict with their own boss is only 19%. This shows the importance of clear communication and understanding between each other, especially during remote working era. From the data mentioned before, we know that remote working conflict is very real and relatable to us. Then, how we can manage remote working conflicts?
Chapter 4. Dealing with conflict. Tips and tricks. How can we manage remote working conflict? 1. Gather the facts. Before considering a meeting about a workplace conflict, contact each team member involved in the conflict by phone, email or video and have them share their report in a confidential conversation. 2. Be proactive. Remote workplaces can be a breeding ground of misinformation, innuendo and missed signals, so a good long-term communication plan, implemented early, can help head off virtual work conflicts. 3. Amplify the signal. If you have a phone conversation about possible delays in a project, follow up with an email to minimize misunderstandings. 4. Respond promptly. A person's response time can matter as much as the medium. In general, people will interpret the promptness of your response to an email or voice message as an indication of the quality of your relationship. 5. Acknowledge the elephant in the room. Being realistic with employees can smooth tensions, as well. Employees should be reminded that everyone plays for the same team, so if something is on their mind, it's important to discuss and remediate. 6. Managers need to overcommunicate. While the term may sound ominous, overcommunication may be a manager's best tool for preventing or curbing remote workplace conflicts. For managers, having a virtual open-door policy that allows employees to discuss anything on their minds is a good strategy to ensure healthy relations between remote employees.